Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is our Twitch live stream recap from last Sunday's live show over on Twitch, where we were kind of picking up right where the series left off with our crew of the Cosmos 1201 safely docked at Kauai Potato Station. We are going to send up a Mark 6K, that is our crew hauler variant, to go pick them up. So here we're just selecting a crew, a very novice pilot, a very novice engineer, Gaspachin McSweetface, out on his first flight, and experienced systems scientist John Oliver accompanying them for some seniority. So we'll set our target with Kauai Potato Station and wait until the relative inclination has brought itself down to a reasonable level so that we can try to launch to a rendezvous. Of course, direct rendezvous. Probably not a thing. They're going to spend a few hours in orbit making some laps, but that's kind of the standard here anyway. So as we watch the Earth spin, I will turn you over to Old Me for live coverage. Alright, .10. From the map view. How's the mid-course correction to the 228? The instruction did help. It was not perfect, but it did go pretty well. Well to well-ish. Alright, so let's get the show on the road. SAS is on. Throttle is set to full. Relative inclination .07. That's a margin I can live with. Alright. Rescue mission is officially underway. Kill my external speakers. Up my headphones. I think we're actually spooled. We are. We did not fall down from the clamps this time. And they're off. Woo! Cheers. We're just going to let them pick up some speed before I correct this lean a little bit. Sorry it's a nighttime launch, everyone. I just don't have control over these sorts of things. Let's lean back into it and start going in the direction we would like to go. 1.51 already. Oh boy. My relative inclination came down, which means we're probably off angle, and yeah, there it is. Going back up again. We will wait to do stuff about that until we're a little more assured in our path. I know it's more efficient to do it now, but it's just, we do wiggle a little. Oh boy. Alright. We see launching. It keeps, like, when I built Cerberus, there was always a contract for launch a satellite into such and such inclination of Earth, and they're just gone. So I might force the contract to exist and then just fly the dumb thing. If you're extra nice, we'll do that next week. Hopefully, next week will be a super special crash completed another orbit around the sun stream. Not that it'll go any longer than normal or anything, but I'm sure I'll mention it. Shuttle getting jiggy with it. I can think of no better way to celebrate completing another orbit than to crash the most expensive thing I have ever built when the space program is hurting for money. That sounds like a fair way to ring it in. And we should probably maintain some of this pitch up, or that nose tank is going to get real angry. Rather, the air is going to get angry, and it's going to take it out on the nose of our EFT. Nope, still rising. Let's come back down this way. Oh yeah, that adjusts it out real quick. Nope, too much. Yeah. Too much. Yeah. A lot of that going on. This 102 and climbing, we need to be at about 250 something, give or take. I mean, really, the rest of the relative inclination is not that big of a deal. mean, yeah, we don't want to let it go crazy, but it'll be easy enough to correct for in orbit. I'd still like to keep it below .1. That's my goal. Getting a little bit of G-loading here. Should probably back off just a bit. A lot of a bit coming up on booster SEP, so this is the most punishment we're going to subject the crew to. It's our altitude 84, so maybe we've risen past the point where we're going to get our nose tank angry at us. Shuttles are not easy. Yeah, flying them is even less fun. Alright, booster set, return to full throttle. I am not going to do a belly roll. We can watch those fall away. That's always a nice view. 229, so we can probably start aiming a little more down the horizon. I'm certain that we're clear of the atmosphere, seeing as how we're out of 99% of it. So the lowest we're ever going to get is .1. Let's just hope we can follow that up and stay on target. 244. We're probably going to end up a bit high. Where is the station relative to us? Oh, 90 degrees around. So really, if we go high on the opposite end, maybe we can catch it in an orbit or two. 10, probably be in space for a week without too much trouble. Minutes of runtime left on this engine. Well, almost 4 minutes really, but 2 minutes apogee. I think we'll I think we can safely hold this pitch. Just a little bit of yaw here there to adjust our relative inclination. Like I said, below .1 is my goal. And it's not shaping up very well so far. There we go. Nice and steady. Listed number 24 if you search KSP SSTO, considering RSSRO. And the hypish stock. Yeah. Hey, wow. That is awesome. Thank you, everyone. I will say that might partially because Veos pulled down his RSS Realism Overhaul SSTO. I don't know if I'm going to get to any simple rockets. Another Firefox, I'm really sorry. We do have a lot to get to. Oh. But I'm sad you'll be leaving us. If you have to go to work, you have to go to work. I know how it goes. Please, no cries. Well, Pulsey, that kind of smells like sarcasm. Yeah, I often don't get notifications from Twitch of people I have followed or subscribed to either, and it's upsetting. Especially because a lot of them don't have a schedule, really. Just if I happen to be online and they go live. And I kind of want to keep our orbit below that of Kawaii Potato Station. It'll be easier for us to catch up to it than it will be for it to catch up to us. So I guess keep it below 251 by 246, if at all possible. Considering we're already kind of above that on one axis, not going swimmingly. We're going to start falling back to Earth, but that's okay. Oh yeah, school schedules make it difficult. I mean, it does get better. At least in college, you can like pick when your classes are for the most part. Alright, we are coming up on engine cutoff. Here's our camera change shutting down. 305 by 248. I missed that one by a fair margin. We've got some fuel to pump around before we can jettison our EFT. I just went ahead and spit up some of the normally very mundane bits, but we need to transfer fuel out of the EFT into the orbiter itself, activate our OMS engines, deploy our solar panels, and wait for our closest approach to Kawaii Potato Station to be something worth fighting for. After just a few orbits, we do get an encounter, so we'll make a burn to level that out before trying to adjust the rest of that separation on RCS thrusters, which does take a hell of a long time. So we actually will end up reorienting the shuttle and just kind of tapping on the OMS engines with a thruster assist, trying to bring that separation at closest approach down to something a little more manageable. I would like to see just a few hundred meters on that, and while it was slow going, eventually we were able to work that number down to something a little more reasonable and speed ourselves a quarter of the way around the planet or so to our closest approach, where we can then attempt to make a docking. Eventually, of course, that even massively sped up, this footage takes a really, really, really long time. Yeah, awesome. So just now it's getting down to within the few hundred meters range, so just a few small taps. This was how I enjoy torturing people on my weekends, is making them watch do arduous procedures in real time on the internet. There is our braking burn to normalize our orbit with Kawaii Potato Station, and then even more waiting as we make a very slow and controlled approach to the station, and there she is. So we'll get ourselves oriented around to kind of face towards a docking port to finish off the rest of our braking burn now that we're in a pretty good proximity, and then start to make our approach for docking. Now, this is the first time I've had two shuttles dock to this station, or any other station for that matter, which did present the very unique problem of where can we park. There's obviously the long extender on the end that would have been more viable, but way out of the way. So we just decided to take the approach straight on. And this is also about the point when the mission got officially named to LifeGuard1, as we are very slowly making our approach. But for docking actual, I will turn you over to Old Me for live coverage. Oh, I wonder if that antenna is going to get in the way. Oh, that'd make me so mad. Should have arrested our speed. APDPAI is better than Mech Jeb docking autopilot. It's really not hard to be better than Mech Jeb's docking autopilot. I mean, it's really good for small things, but man, does it get real inefficient real fast. Alright. while we're sitting here discussing things and letting that shuttle rotate around, let's deactivate this comms just so that it's not the problem that we have to adjust for today. It's getting a little crowded up here. I'll say I have been well lectured in the virtues of DPAI. At this point, it's just more of a joke for me not to do it, because it's funnier. This axis, not too terrible. We just need to back it up just a little. Nemo, you fit so squarely. No, why do you insist on being my problem today, SAS? And then a little bit of reverse. You need anxiety meds. We have not yet scraped any paints. We're doing real good. So if we had a docking camera, this is where it would sit, and it would not do anybody any good. Oh, those bay doors are going to be so close together. Bump, bump, just floor it. I'm helping. Little to the right. Your speddy uppy bits. Ah. H key, H key, H key, K key. Bring it home. Nope. N key. A little bit of roll. The other roll. Oh god. Quick, use the Canadarm. Magnets. Magnet fail. Magnet's throwing us way off. Come on now. Where are you going, dude? little bit of nose down, a little bit of reverse. Docked. Yes! Only a little bit of scraped paint. Oh, God. the clearance is here. That's... Whew! That is some quality parking. IVA time. I don't think we have anybody in Nemo, but we can fix that very quickly. So a bit more of the super exciting resource transfer as we were getting our crew set up and ready for their EVA to perform the necessary tasks to repair our old orbiter and hopefully be able to return it as a drone ship once the installation of a computer core is complete. So it did matter. It was a matter first of transferring the old crew into the new vessel so that they could be quote-unquote safely transported home. That was a bit of an IVA view, admiring our really tight parking job there with our tail fins just kind of straddling poor Nemo there. And then back to, of course, the necessary bits of refueling and topping off various other things. Of course, this Mark 6 did bring up a whole host of fuel and supplies that will stay here at Kauai Potato Station as its primary purpose is a gateway to the moon. One of these can provide a full refuel for a Nemo or a Dory as it ventures out to the moon. It just kind of reduces our reliance on supply runs, which are rather expensive and becoming more and more frequent the more infrastructure we have deployed out here in both Earth and Moon orbit. And of course, it was really hard to get a view on the life support tank stowed there in the cargo bay, but it's about time for our EVA. So here's old me. All right, Gaspatchin McSpeedface. Did he actually EVA? Did that button not work? EVA. All hatches obstructed, can't exit. Oh, no. There's not enough clearance for him to get out. Alright. Fair enough. Transfer. There you go. A small circle next to the leftmost portrait. Oh, whoa, this is weird. What have you just done? Yeah, what? Undo it. It's overlay, add slot, remove slot. Yeah, no. Neighbors calling the police. Oh god. I screenied it, but I hope somebody does clip that. Where is the hatch for poor Gaspatchin? Tell me this one's obstructed too. EVA. Yay! We can get some work done now. And with Gaspatchin McSweetface finally on the outside of the station, he can make his way over to the crates where he must first retrieve a wrench so that he can do things. We are going to be relocating some of these crates to the Nemo. We need those wrenches deployed elsewhere throughout our infrastructure here, both at our moon base, which I had to struggle to find one, and Tremonia station in low moon orbit could absolutely use a crate full of these things. So for the time being, we're just going to have to stash this somewhere. It will start floating away. No big deal. There is our computer core, step 1 complete. That is now mounted to our angle bracket. We'll retrieve the crate so that we don't create even more space debris before running it back over to Nemo and installing the empty crate on one of his many carrier brackets. I'm sure empty crates will serve us well to some regard, doing something. And now onto the second crate. Might as well just get this up and out of the way. This is the one that has all of our cordless drills for doing all this cool stuff in orbit, and a brief moment of not remembering what controls do what, followed by a very nice screenshot opportunity. I'm not sure if I took it. Yeah, not that it matters a whole hell of a lot anyway. And then back into the cargo bay to retrieve the radiator panels and the solar panel replacement for Nemo. These radiators, of course, are going to try to help dissipate the heat on the defective part on the Mark 6C. That was the Cosmos 1201 mission. The radiator is a replacement part for a panel that was broken off on Nemo inexplicably somehow. So first we'll get the old one out of the way, and then we'll install the new one. It is oriented badly. It should be offset by about 90 degrees, but wasn't a whole lot of space to work with in here, and floating around. That's probably a good job for whatever crew is parked here next, is to fix that. Maybe they'll have more space to work with. Maybe they'll have more patience. Maybe they'll have that one thing on their itinerary to get done. Either way. And then we'll move not so swiftly on to the installation of the radiators on the adapter piece. This is to angle the engines up so that the engines can actually all hold uniform angle, I guess. It is an SXT part. But it was the culprit of the last Shuriken failure that almost cost us a crew on the way back in, were it not for some extraordinarily talented flying and a whole lot of good luck. These radiators are a little bigger than I thought they would. I thought we could install two side by side along the adapter part. I was wrong. Maybe I had those tweaks scaled in a different version for acting as radiators for the fuel cells, the liquid hydrogen powered fuel cells. But either way, we'll attach one here to the cargo bay and try to sink some heat from that before it ever saturates into the adapter piece itself. And then move crates, because, yeah, I mean, why not? No point in them going back down with the drone ship, and we actually do need some crates for hauling cargo, tools, science experiments, parts, you name it. I had planned a whole lot of operations around the moon, for which we would need more crates than are currently available. So it turns out we do in fact have a crate shortage, but we are crate shortaged no longer. So Gespatchin will make his way over here to the opposite side of Nemo and install that crate. Thankfully it did not hit the rudder there, although it was certainly looking mighty close. The yeah, parking here is pretty tight. And then back into the jump seat within the cargo bay. That is mission complete for Gespatchin McSweetface. An excellent first run, and what a way to get your feet wet. So a little more resource transfer as we prepare for disembarking. Just one last check to make sure that we can get all of the crew loaded into the Mark 6K before we start to head them home. So with that, I will hand you over to Old Me for more live coverage. All right, I think we are all set. We can actually go ahead and try to undock our new drone ship thing. Or do I want to transfer life support out of it first? Because if we have to send a crew to go get it... Oh, this is a tough call. So maybe what we'll do is we will fill this thing. Now, it's got a couple of days. We'll just leave that there. We will, however, empty the cockpit of all its contents, other than fuel that it needs to get home, of course. In. Very good. It will need the fuel, that's that. Alright. Jebediah translated to Japanese and back is Chevy. What? Huh. Who knew? Undock. Can we RCS? Yes! We can! RCS port's not firing. Fuel locked. Alright, so why don't you just come right back in dock. Nope, wrong way. Oh god, now we're going to start scratching things. This is a terrible idea. I just want to keep track of you until it's time to do stuff. That was a little bit of a bump. Alright, there we go. Have I lost any Kerbals yet? Yes, 2. Very early in the program, Jeb died during a reentry test. He was the first Kerbal to perish. And Rosalina died on a return from moon orbit. Burned up on Earth entry. Does Kawaii have a little Earth? Like a little plushie? Absolutely. Wait, Jeb died? Oh, Jeb died way, way early in the series. Like, we had... That was pre-first Kerbal to orbit. Yeah, we've been very, very, very lucky to keep that number at 2. Very, very lucky. Let's check our orbital track in relation to Florida. I guess we should just wait here until it's time to leave, because why not, I guess. We'll just wait for our orbital track. Man, it's going to be a while. A few days at least. So the cruise wait in orbit would not be too terribly long, but unfortunately, just as our departure was at night, it looks like our return flight will also be at night. And the planning of such looks like just one more pass should put our track right underneath it. By the time we get there, we should be on a dead straight line aimed for Cape Canaveral, which is awesome. It means we don't have to deflect or do anything weird to try to get there. So we will go ahead and disembark the crew and pull ourselves ever so gracefully away from our extraordinarily tight parking space. We did check to make sure that we had everything that we needed before we left, because I am not doing that docking ever again. We may be imposing a single shuttle limit on station at any given moment. As long as, I don't know, this was an emergency, but we will certainly never plan to have more than one there at a time. That's just a little crazy. And we'll set our periapsis right about where we think Cape Canaveral is going to be by the time we complete our half orbit or so to make our deorbit burn. Of course, we'll go ahead and tuck the solar panels away. We actually don't really need them when we run on fuel cells, but here's old me. Alright, engine is lit. Track looks good. I think we'll be alright if we can stay pointed at the node, please and thank you. That would be a fantastic idea. I think. Let's go ahead and close this up. Oh, that's still full too. Guess we'll be venting a lot of these things. Alright, saving my last little sip of bourbon for when this thing's on the ground. 70, 65, 50 shutdown. There we go. Alright, that worked out quite well. Time to start venting the... Oh, really? You're going to do this to me? You're going to do this to me now, when we need to vent things. We can't vent our things. I just now closed the cargo bays. And we can't vent our excess, so we're going to come in heavy. Well, that's an unexpected failure. It is at this point where the crew should have been instructions to adjust their approaching periapsis, as coming in heavy would mean that they will retain more of their velocity, as it is harder for them to slow down in the airstream as the orbiter is intended to do. But I don't know, control was distracted, the pilot was distracted, there are all kinds of bad juju things happening that led to this correction not being made. They would dip their nose down and angle in, getting ready for entry approach, before we would just time warp around halfway or so, adjust our angle, and load up our atmospheric autopilot flight computer, telling it to hold only to monitor slip AOA, or side slip, I should say, to keep that tail end in check before we would start our nice long coast back through the atmosphere. Up until this point, things had gone relatively well, other than being a little bit overweight and a little fuel heavy. We were able to maintain good balance in the atmosphere without any real surprises, other than just how much speed we retained. Relatively speaking, I've never actually been able to land one of these shurikens on a runway. I was really hoping that this would be the attempt that would nail it, partially because it was live and I thought it would just be a fun thing to do. Crossing the day-night terminator, we did adjust our angle nose down a little bit here. Some part of me feared that we actually were not going to retain enough speed to hit Cape Canaveral, so there would be an adjustment from a 30-degree pitch down to a 20-degree pitch, trying to maintain a little more cross range and keep the speed up so that we could make sure that we put ourselves over the target. But as we crossed from the Gulf of California and over Mexico, which I don't believe that's actually happened yet here on footage. It's really hard to see the ground. No, we are still way out in the Pacific. Thanks, Old Me, for checking the map there and messing up this narration. This is where we adjust our nose down, because I thought we might need more cross range. We are still moving at about 6.7 kilometers per second and slowing down pretty slowly. For this vehicle anyways, as we start to get some heating effects as we cross the Gulf of California and on into Mexico. We would clear Mexico in just a couple of minutes as we start to make our approach into the Gulf of Mexico. Our telemetry still looking good for a pass over Cape Canaveral, but I will turn you over to Old Me for live coverage of the rest of our landing attempt. Let's just double check our track. We are a little south. No, let's adjust that. Looks like we're going to come down right on top of it. Oh, heat warnings. What was that? Solar panel. Okay. I'll take that. So, hey, what the... And now you pop up? And now you pop up? It's too late for me to have one more thing to worry about right now. So let's see if we can't just get this angle in a little bit more. We need to bleed off some of the speed. And stay, please, stable, please. God, please stay stable. Oh, no, way too much. Go. Pitch is riding pretty easy. Let's bring this up to 30. Sorry, Chad, I'm going to be... Oh, Jesus, overheat warning flashbacks, yeah. I'm going to be a little unattentive to chat for a little while. I'm very sorry. Alright, we're on our way back up. 55 kilometers actual, 3.9 kilometers per second. Siri, would you like to drain your fuel? I would have liked to 2 hours ago. Alright, 3.8. I think we have bled the appropriate amount of speed. I mean, if we start to look like we're going to overshoot, I can always S-turn to bring things more in line with reality. So pitch holding a little bit back, so let's pump some more fuel forward. Hey, we can see Florida from here. Woohoo! Oh boy, night landings. Oh man, what a great time to be out of beer. So I'm going to go refresh this. Please don't let anything bad happen. I will be back in 10 seconds. And I have returned. Something below flying by? What? Yeah, hey, sure enough, what? Oh, that's probably bits from our crash last time. That is probably the landing legs that I did not recover. Currently building a vehicle for 3 crew to LEO that uses nearly only SRBs. Well, that sounds safe. Oh, and the flaps tilt inward. They didn't do that on the last one. Oodalali. LifeGuard Capcom, go for landing. I really hope. Alright, does that look like it should be the Cape? Since we can see clearly all the way across the state. Really glad we got really good flying conditions today. I think that's where we're headed. It's the LES liquid fuel. Alright, let's pump the rest of our fuel forward as much as we can. And it's time to start slowing this train down. Because, yeah, we're gonna hella overshoot. Oh, we are so gonna overshoot. Was the abort plan for this thing? Are you asking me if the shuttle has an abort? I'll say it looks like right now we're gonna have to turn around and come back. Yep, there's our runway. So we just need to bleed off some speed. And then turn around, but we'll hold the brakes open for a bit. I have done an RTLS. I've not done a bailout. Kerbals in this archaic version do not have parachutes, so if the ship goes down, you better be ready. Air brake's doing a pretty good job at Lake at the Cape. Landed by a reusable booster right on the shore once. Oh, nice. That one. That's pretty good. Like, that's excellent targeting. There's our launch clamps. Oh, no one burned up and exploded. Although we're still transonic and way too high, so... we need to go out far enough to make this a thing. So much fuel on board still. We're just gonna bring all this noxious crap home with us, collect our refund money. Alright. I would like to get to about 1 kilometer per second before I start trying to turn this thing, lest we subject all our crew to some... Yeah, I think Immelman maneuver is our plan here. And we're going to pick up so much speed doing that. No, we're not going to do that. Whoa! Whoa there, roll control. Hear me, baby, hold together. Come on now. Yes, very fast. Still transonic. Shit, we may have gone way too far out, but we couldn't slow down fast enough to make this turn. Hit the air brakes. High G loading. Very high G loading. Brakes off. Come on. Come on. Oh, we're too low. Time to start throwing things overboard. I do not want to ditch this thing. Just dump the crew. Yeah. That's probably a good option. Got some food, water, and oxygen. All poo. We need that. We need that. That's gone. Okay, we've dumped what we can dump, except for the fuel, which is going out the back, and I have no idea where KSC is. I'm assuming somewhere over there. Yeah, we flew pretty far. But at least we're gaining altitude. God, way overshot. But hey, we didn't burn up, and we didn't undershoot this time. So next time, we'll hit a runway. That's how these work, right? Yep. There will likely be a very large influx of water. Now, there she is. There's the KSC. If we can just... Yeah, we're kind of leveling out here. Yeah, no TWR on this. I should have kept the hydrogen and oxygen for the fuel cells and just ran them through the HG3s. I don't know if we got this kind of cross range. I mean, we're only 10 kilometers in sinking, and that's all our fuel. But we'll see what we can't pull out here. We'll just ride at the stall speed and then do our little dip and swerve. I should have started the S-turns way higher in the atmosphere and way earlier. I did not think that we were going to overshoot quite this badly. I mean, we hit the Gulf of Mexico at 5.3 kilometers per second. We crossed into Florida at 3 kilometers per second, and that was still about a kilometer per second too fast. And there's our stall speed. Yeah, at least we can actually pick up speed this time. Let's see where we level out. .65 meters per second. We're still accelerating. We're still falling, just not that much. There's a little deceleration. 5 kilometers. Oh, crap. Alright, let's see what we can pull out here. We have a little speed we can trade in last second. How far out is this? 75 kilometers. Oops. Godspeed, LifeGuard. We're gonna need some lifeguards for our LifeGuard. All the way down to 3 kilometers, and we made up 10 kilometers, so let's, we got a little speed we can trade in. We need to save some altitude. Yeah, we're sinking pretty fast here. Fifty kilometers. Although we are low enough now to where our stall speed is significantly lower. Possibly light enough, but we're going to have to nose down here in a second, and I don't think we're going to be able to make it back, but it's either that or belly flop. What a disappointing way to end a relatively successful mission. I would have at least liked to touch down on dirt, or a pretend runway, even if it's not the actual runway. But yeah, looks like we are go for splashdown. .800 meters. Everybody buckle in. Sorry my bad flying got you into another episode of swimming for sure. Only 45 kilometers out. 600 meters. .300 meters. Let's dip into it so that we don't belly flop. We'd like to flare last second if at all possible. Flaring. .10 meters. Oop. Inadvertent climbing.
Control the lifeguard, do you copy? Lifeguard, do you copy? Control the lifeguard, radio systems check. Lifeguard, do you copy?